Shalom everyone. Hashem's name will be blessed forever. We are going to discuss today a few topics in Halacha. For example, Din Nolad in Shabbat. What's Nolad? Things that comes to existence on Shabbat. And it'll be very short and brief, and then we move on another topic. For example, another topics. For example, can we make a purchase on Shabbat?
Is that a question?
Huh?
Question.
It's a question. And before that, I need to dedicate this to our class for a mother, okay, and a grandmother that passed away this week, and it's the grandmother of a teacher in Yarne, friends with my wife. They were dedicating this Torah class to Samira Hogi Bat Flora. Samira Hogi Bat Flora. May she rest in peace. Amen. Okay. Can you make purchase on Shabbat? I am short in milk, fruit, soda. Thanks for the soda. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihya b'dvaro. You're saying no. We'll see. I think you'll be surprised about purchasing on Shabbat. Shabbat. So, let's start with Din Nolad on Shabbat. Things that came to be on Shabbat. For example, I walk in my backyard and I see fruit that falls on Shabbat from the tree. Orange, clementina, vegetables, whatever, fell on the floor. Can I use it? I know it was not there before Shabbat. On the floor. Avocado. Did you ever had an avocado tree at your house? My grandfather used to have 2 of them. When it's ripe, you hear every few minutes, they fell off. Wow. So people today put nets. But they, on Shabbat, I want to use a fresh avocado. Can I use it? It falls on Shabbat. What do you think?
We're supposed to be prepared before Shabbos.
We're supposed to, but I see the beautiful avocado.
You can't pick it off the tree. You couldn't pick it off the tree.
No, it fell by itself. God, thank you for sending me a fresh avocado for breakfast. Can I do that? Halacha says the following. One may not eat a raw egg that was laid on Shabbat. You heard about, asking yourself, a raw egg? It's crazy. Kugel Mugel. Did you ever drink Kugel Mugel?
Oh, no. I don't even know what it is.
Kugel Mugel. It's a very Ashkenazi food. And if you want to clear your voice, so you can be a chazan, be in the opera. What do? You drink kugel mogul. What's kugel mogul? It's a milk with a raw egg. You mix it really good.
You do it every day.
And then you drink it. I tried it once. Never again. One may not eat a raw egg that was laid on Shabbat, nor may one handle the egg. For it is mixed with, if it is mixed with permitted eggs, most permitted eggs, it was laid before Shabbat, okay? It just didn't collect it. And one does not know which one is the forbidden egg. All the eggs are forbidden regardless of how many permitted eggs are in the mixture. So you can do 1/68 and all this cheshbon, okay? It is permissible to invert a ball over the egg to prevent it from getting broken, as long as one does not move the egg. Same with the avocado that I give you the example. When it falls to the floor, it either breaks, and then you see a lot of ants coming and the rest of it, okay? So people say, okay, I don't eat it, maybe I can move it and cover it, I'll take care of it after Shabbat. It becomes muktzeh, you can handle it. If it falls on the net, maybe you saved it, maybe not. But okay. If fruits fall or are picked from a tree on Shabbat, it is forbidden to handle them on Shabbat, and one certainly may not eat them. Likewise, if someone finds vegetables lying loose on the ground on Shabbat, in the garden where they were grown, and it is not known whether they were picked from before Shabbat or on Shabbat, he may not eat or handle them. After Shabbat, however, they are permitted, and it is not necessary to wait for as long as it would be take to pick them after Shabbat. After Havdalah, immediately. Okay? If one knows that the fruit or vegetables were picked before Shabbat, he may pick one up on Shabbat and eat it, and then pick up another one. It is forbidden to gather them all together at once, since this would probably be capital offense on Shabbat, desecration as an act of the melacha of me'amer, gathering. We can't gather things on Shabbat. Okay, so we mentioned things that comes to an existence on Shabbat. So let me ask you another question. This is very common. One wants to have with his whiskey some good rocks in it. What's rocks? Ice. Can I make ice on Shabbat?
Make ice?
Make ice on Shabbat.
Mm-hmm. No.
Make ice meaning not the automatic one that you have on the refrigerator. I just want to make, I don't know, in plastic bags or in cups. Easy, to make it. Or the small trays that we can use. So why not? You're saying no. Why not?
We're changing it.
Do me a favor, tissue. So the halacha says the following: what do I do with the water? I'm not changing the form of the water, right? What I'm doing, I do change, but what's the sin?
What's the what?
What's the sin? Did I break any law of Shabbat? Did I transgress Shabbat? So, why? Time is running. So, let's go to the halacha. Some poskim rule that it is forbidden to freeze water into ice cubes on Shabbat, reasoning that this is an act of molid. Molid is making something new, bringing something new. Molid, like, you heard the word molid before? Leda, laledet, to give birth. Molid. It's like something new. Comes from the word leda, laledet. The act of molid, creating something new. Nevertheless, the halacha follows the opinions that this is permitted and it is not considered an act of molid. Likewise, it is permissible to make ice cream on Shabbat. All the poskim agree that if a non-Jew made ice on Shabbat, Jews may use it on Shabbat.
If a non-Jew made it.
Okay. The poskim disagree about a Jew making. Some permit, some not. But all the poskim agree if a non-Jew made it. Okay.
And can you take the ice out of the ice tray if they've already been in the freezer for a day or two or three?
Oh, if it was made already, no problem. We're talking about making on Shabbat.
What about the automatic ice maker?
That's if there is no problem to pick from it. You don't turning any light on or stopping the machine or turns from red to green. Some machines, I have one at home that when it's full, it becomes red. If I touch it and I move some, it will turn to green. So I can't use it. Unless I see it's green, I can take from it. So it depends on the machines that you have. This is in general the idea. What about making a carbonated beverages? Something like that. And there's the Sifulux, remember the machines that you press and... Can I create something like that on Shabbat? Like soda. Like soda on Shabbat. Some poskim rule that it is forbidden to make carbonated beverages on Shabbat by mixing baking soda and sweet juice with water. The reason that this is considered an act of molid, creating something new, since one creates a new chemicals entity from the water. It is similar to the prohibition of crushing snow or frost to create water. There are others who reason that it is forbidden to make carbonated beverages on Shabbat because it appears like an act of cooking, since it makes the water boil. You know what happened when you mix.
Yeah.
Okay. So the halacha, however, follows the opinion of those who rule that it is permissible to make carbonated beverages on Shabbat, and that is neither molid or mevashel. It is permissible to make club soda, okay, using the various machines made for this purpose. It's permissible. This does not infringe upon the prohibition of molid, nor is it an act of the melacha of makeh bepatish. You know what's makeh bepatish? You heard this term before? Makeh bepatish, meaning this is the end of the melacha, meaning is completion.
Or like a judge?
No, makeh bepatish is the completion. You put it's the finish of the job. It's forbidden an act of. It is not a forbidden act of din dechol. It's like things you do during the week, weekdays or mundane days. A weekday's activity, either one may do this only if one wishes to use the club soda on Shabbat, but not for weekday use. Okay. Another thing that mulid, what's mulid? Remember we said we used the word mulid, nolad, mulid. Using perfume, using aftershave. Okay? So, can I use aftershave on Shabbat?
So you smell better? Wait, on Shabbat?
On Shabbat.
So you spray yourself?
Yes, you can spray back. Before you leave shul,
Wait, I hope a lot
before
of people
two shul,
do.
or you go, you put it down, you go.
I hope they do.
Huh?
I hope they
You have it
do.
done? It depends. It depends on which way. Okay?
So,
You may use aftershave or perfume when you put it on your skin directly, not on the clothing.
Yeah, not clothing, right.
Not on the clothing. What's the reason?
Then you're perfuming the clothing,
It's something more permanent. It stays. The body has the sweat. It's going to go away. So people have to be careful to do that and then smear it on the tie or something like that, because you're actually doing it on Shabbat. But other than that, it will be okay. And let me read from the Halacha. Creating fragrances. It is forbidden to apply perfume to any cloth on Shabbat, since this is an act of molid reyach. You're creating a new smell, new fragrance. Creating a fragrance that in the cloth. So it is permissible, however, to apply fragrance to one's face or hand, since this is not considered a forbidden act of molid, creating something new. One may apply the fragrance to one's skin or one's hair or beard. What about putting some sort of, it's different between Ashkenazi and Sephardi. For example, lotion. Lotion
Yeah.
for babies, for adults, putting on a dry skin. It's also considered medication. Oil, putting oil on one skin, baby oil on one skin.
Does it have to do with the consistency of the lotion?
It is. Very
That's
good.
totally
So according to Sephardi, as long as it's liquidish,
Yeah.
no problem. So what people do, they take their favorite lotion that they use, put it in another container, they're adding water into it, making it into liquid, and then they can use it on Shabbat. Ashkenazim permit to put hard cream or hard Vaseline, for example, and you put dots. You don't smear it. For a baby, the same. For if you have babies, what do you call it, diaper rash?
Yeah.
So you put dot, and it will smear by itself. Okay. It is permissible to add a perfume or rose water to food or beverages on Shabbat to improve their flavor. This is not considered an act of mulid, creating a fragrance. According to almost all poskim, one may not add the perfume to hot food in a keli rishon, however. Okay? It's not something common that Ashkenazim doing anyways. It's more a Sephardi thingy. It is forbidden to add a perfume to water on Shabbat or Yom Tov to be used for washing. It is permissible, however, to wash with water that had been perfumed before Shabbat. Furthermore, one may dry one's hands and face afterward with a towel. It's not that he's adding to the towel the fragrance. It's not his intention. He just wanted to dry his hand versus putting on the body the fragrance. It's a different story. One may place an etrog on a cloth on Shabbat or Yom Tov, even though the etrog makes the cloth fragrant, since this is not one's intention. If we should have here an etrog, can you look if we have a etrog here? You know the etrog? See if you have a etrog here, maybe inside. Look at the shul. Bring me one.
I know there's one.
I want you to do bracha that I believe you've never done in your life. Today you're going to do this bracha. Okay. So people has hadassim. In Ashkenazi shul, you don't see it, but in Yemenite shul and Sephardi shul, it's very common to have in a shul like a vase, okay, with hadas. You know what hadas?
Yeah.
What is it in English?
Hadas.
In English?
Hadas.
I call it, no, there's a name for it.
Myrtle branches?
Ma?
Myrtle branches.
Myrtle branches. And some other mint, you know mint?
Yeah.
Oh, shkoyer, thank you for so people have it and they made the bracha al atzeh besamim or al isbe besamim, because on Shabbat we must have as many as brachot that we have to reach to up to 100 at least.
Right.
We're a little bit short on Shabbat because the tefillah is shorter, so we are trying to compensate for it using this kind of tricks, saying bracha over it, and then an hour later again. This is how we can reach. This is a bracha that you can make. You can see it's a puzzle. They lost his pitom, but what bracha one can make on the smell? I'll let you do this bracha. I don't know if you've ever done this bracha. The bracha is the following: Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten reach tov baperot. Ishtabach shemo. God that put a good fragrance in the fruit. You can say this bracha over any type of fruit that brings good smell. Oranges, whatever. Okay, who want to do that? Okay, do this bracha. Kadima. Give it to Omri, and I'll tell you what to say. Say it. Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
Hanoten reach tov baperot. And pass it on. Okay? So this is, you see, this is Hanoten reach tov baperot. You see, there is a smell here of the etrog. That's what the halacha we've learned. Hanoten reach tov baperot. Baperot means in the fruits. When they give them to the Kohen. Okay. So it is permissible to handle fragrant twigs on Shabbat in order to smell them.
Twigs? Yeah.
Twigs. Tov baperot. Smell. They have to smell. Yeah, right. Reach tov baperot. You can even cut it a little bit with your finger to make sure that more smell will come out of it. Scratch it. We don't going to use it anymore. Why I smelled it before? You notice that I smelled it and then I said the bracha?
Sure.
How can I eat from a fruit and then say bracha? It's different with smell. Maybe there is no smell. Or maybe there is no fragrance, right? Anoten, reach, tov, baperot. Or maybe my nose is stuffed. So you have to test it. You may test.
We don't generally.
You may try it. Say, okay, there's a good fragrance, and then you say the bracha.
We don't generally do it. Over.
Ask anybody in the shul what bracha to make. Let's see who knows.
Question, Rabbi.
People don't do that. It's a common bracha. It's a beautiful bracha that you can do on a daily basis. When you peel an orange. It's a beautiful bracha.
On Shabbat, what about over?
You can do this bracha on Shabbat. On Shabbat we do that.
On challah?
No challah. It's not a fruit. It's not a fruit.
Okay, I'll have fruit.
You can even say it on the coffee. You know, grounded coffee. It's come from fruit.
Comes from fruit. Really?
Yeah. It's questionable among the poskim about the coffee, about coffee beans, but we can get that later. Okay. So take advantage of it. Take a fruit. Say Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Hanoten Reach Tov Baperot. That's a good smell. Now you made a mitzvah. Great mitzvah. Then you can watch it later and see what's the bracha. Let me move on. So it is permissible to handle fragrant twigs on Shabbat in order to smell them. One may rub them, whether the twigs are hard or soft. After a circumcision on Shabbat, it's permissible to smell fragrance as it is the custom. If an entire branch of fragrant herb was cut from the ground before Shabbat, it's permissible on Shabbat to break off sprigs. What's the sprigs? It's little pieces, right? To distribute them to the guests at the ceremony.
Rabbi.
I ask you a question, 1 second. I'm walking in my garden, or whatever, and I see beautiful roses, or I see mint, and I want to smell from it on Shabbat. Can I do that on Shabbat? It's still attached to the ground. Can I do that on Shabbat? And if not, what's the concern?
And you pick it.
That you pick it. So, what's the Halacha says? It is permissible to stroll through a garden on Shabbat or Yom Tov and smell the flowers and recite the blessing over the fragrances. One must take care to avoid picking any of the flowers, of course. So, for vegetables, it's isbe besamim. For trees, like roses, is atze. Atze means tree, isbe means grass. Okay? How do you know which is atze, by the way, and which is a grass? How do you know what's considered, according to the Halacha, a fruit tree? That you would say, bore pri ha'etz, or it's grows from the ground, huh? Or ha'adama. Apple, what do you say for apple?
Yes.
Orange?
Yes.
Clementina?
Yes.
Banana?
Adama.
Cucumbers?
Adama.
How do you determine that? How do you know that this is tree fruit and this is...
Grows from the ground.
Both grows from the ground.
Yeah, but the tree.
Is it, Rabbi?
If what?
If you say hadama on something that should be ha'etz, it's still the
It's still good because both grow from the ground. But how can I determine which is which? How can I say this is for sure ha'etz? We want to be more accurate. It's not related to where we're standing, it's just a side comment. So what's the trick to know which one is considered ha'etz and which considered adama?
If it, Rabbi?
Ma.
If it has like a sturdy trunk, like if it has a sturdy trunk, then it's a tree and it's high-aids. And if it's like not sturdy, then it's a vegetable.
Okay, Amy. Right? If it comes every year, okay, on the same tree, you don't have to pick it, destroy it, and plant a new one. You consider a tree. For example, cucumber. They grow one time, then you have to cut the plant and replant, right? Tomatoes, the same. That they consider adama. But orange trees, it comes every year from the same branches. It comes actually from the same roots. Why banana it says adama? You see it's the same tree. We still say adama. Because our sages figured that it's not the same root. The roots grows and dies, and a new roots comes every year, every season. Okay? So it just looks like they are bundled together, but this is why it's special, have special like papaya and all this, okay? When we get to the laws of brachot, we will study this. It's very important to know how to distinguish between fruits that consider eitz and fruit that consider adama. Okay. I want to put in the toilet this stuff that makes give you good smells when you flush the water. Blue or whatever colors they have. Can I do that on Shabbat? It will color, it will dye the water. It is permissible to insert a toilet bowl cleanser in the tank, even if it is contain a fragrant disinfectant that colors the water each time it is flushed. This is not a forbidden act of molid, nor it is forbidden act of sovea, as explained above.
Why is it considered like dyeing? Like you're changing the color of the water. Why would that not be a problem?
Because it's not my intention. I don't care if the water will be blue. I want it to be clean. Okay? You have many of these soaps that you use at home when you wash they're blue, right? And you change them now because you're adding water to white. It's not considered as sovea. My intention is to clean. My intention is disinfect. Okay? We have, I think, 5 minutes. Let's do 5 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about purchasing food items on Shabbat. So you're saying it is prohibited, right?
Depends on the situation.
What do you mean?
If a person doesn't have anything to eat.
No, we're talking about the situation that one can eat. There is no problem. It just short with milk. He wants to have some extra milk. Or you see guests coming. He doesn't have drinks. He wants to go to... Today it's not common. But when I grew up, we had in the neighborhood stores. And we knew the sellers because he lives at that neighborhood or it's in his backyard. A small shop, they're selling dairy food and bread and all this. So the halacha is that you can, but under some circumstances. Okay, you got stuck, and you have guests coming, and you want to take, 6 bottles of Coca-Cola, a whole bunch. How do you do it? It's Shabbat. So in our neighborhood, he left it open, and we're davening in the same shul, and it happens all the time. But I have to be careful in a few things. What are they? So let me just read the introduction, and next week we continue with the halacha. Okay. It happens even here in America that you have to pay on Shabbat for a technician, for example. He comes on Shabbat, it was emergency, or he started at Friday, 6 o'clock, he ends 8 o'clock, he came back from shul, air conditioning is fixed, but then you got to pay him. What you going to do? It happens all the time. Our sages permitted under certain circumstances one to purchase food he needs for Shabbat from Jewish-owned store on Shabbat itself. There are certain rules regarding how the customer may order the items he wishes on Shabbat. It is forbidden to mention prices or the balance of one's bill. Furthermore, one may not mention specific measures of merchandise. One may specify how many of the items one wishes, but it's forbidden to compute the sum total of items taken in these and previous purchases. I'll give you some example. For example, one may say, give me 4 eggs. One may not say, however, I already took 4 eggs, please give me another 3 eggs, so there will be a total of 7 eggs. Now you start calculating here. Okay? One may not mention measures, whether it be one measure by itself or a total of measures. One may not say, give me kilos of carrots. One may certainly not say, I already took 5 kilos of carrots. Please give me another 5 kilos. So there will be a total of 10 kilos. Let me conclude with saying, one may not mention prices or sum total of prices. One may not say, please give me $5 worth of eggs. Or, I already took $5 worth of eggs, please give me a further $3 worth of eggs, so that there will be a total of $8 worth. You got the idea here? We'll go a little bit more into the halachot with more examples. Be'ezrat Hashem next week. I remember as a child, sometimes we have to take an extra wine, all that. So, and after Shabbat, this seller always got extra. People didn't know exactly; they always pay extra, so there's no big deal. Any questions? God bless you, Be'ezrat Hashem, in great parnasah and good health. Shavua Tov.